Okay. Hi there. This is Phil Simberg for the USBGF, and as you know, I often have guest commentators to help me discuss various positions in cube action. And today I have David Presser with me. And David may not be a household name for many of you outside of Chicago. Just to give you a quick background, David is a young Israeli who came to Chicago to pursue his furthering education at Northwestern, and he decided not to get his PhD and instead went for a master's degrees in finance. And he did a terrible thing. He fell in love with backgammon, and over the past couple of years did a very impressive thing in becoming the #1 player in the Chicago Bar Point Club after his first year there, by far beating all the rest of us. And we've got about 20 open players at the club. David played in a few ABT events and further distinguished himself by doing very well. And he didn't win an event, but he came close in a couple of them, and he beat a lot of the top players in the world. He's what we call the giant killer. But David's a friend of mine, and we play quite often in Chouette, and he and I also play heads up from time to time just for practice. We play challenge gammon with each other. And yesterday, after the Chouette, we had some time to kill, and we decided to play a 7-point match. And we got to this position, and the score is 3 away, 4-4, cube in the center. And I have a 6-1 to play, and I made a play that David didn't like. And David's not real shy. He's nice enough to tell me, to help me when he doesn't like my play, to help me by showing me what the right play is. And he's also willing to help me to make sure I remember it by betting me. So he knows that if he takes some of my money, that I'll remember it better and learn the lesson better. So he's such a nice guy. And I'm going to have David explain what the right play is after I give you first a little bit of a chance to think about this play yourself. And let's see if you're as dumb as I am and would have made my play. So how would you play a 6-1 here? Let's give it some thought, and I'll be quiet. Okay, now, David, his English may not sound real good to you because he's Israeli. I guess I shouldn't make fun of your English, David, because my Hebrew isn't very good, and I went to Hebrew school for 6 years. But all I learned was how to light the candles and get my gifts. That was about it. So I'll stop being critical now, and I'll shut up, and I'll tell you the play that I made, and let's see what play you would make if you would agree with my play. I really liked, I didn't like the fact that my 6-point is stacked, so I played 6-5 with the ace, and I thought it was really best to go for a priming game. So I slotted and played 10-4. David immediately said, you know, Phil, I don't think that's the right play. He said it in a little bit more direct words than that. And David showed me the right play, which is his play of coming out from 24-18, which looked quite risky to me. And as you can see from the rollout, my play is second by about 5%. David, why is your play right? What's the reasoning behind your play?
So, first of all, thank you for the flattering introduction, and I want to believe that my English is slightly better than your Hebrew, so I'll do my best. So, basically, the decision of how to make the play is based on my work on the opening plays, which I developed into more strategic understanding, and it really helped in this opening to more advanced phase of the game. Now, how I looked at it is that, like you said, the ace looks very thematic. You want to unstack the 5 checkers on the 6, and the 5-point, it looks very natural. Now, about the 6, there's nothing very constructive, but what I see is that my opponent has 8 checkers in the zone. Although he has a very threatening board with 3-point board, it's only 8 checkers in his zone, and he already gained a semi-advanced anchor. So the fact that he has an advanced anchor means that I have more incentive of having advanced anchor of my own. Those two factors, and I think the main factor was the 8 checkers in the zone, led me to believe that the 6 has to be stepping forward and trying to get an advanced anchor of your own.
Mm-hmm. What scared me, though, was when you come out to the bar point, you're going to get hit 24 times, and with my play, you're only going to get hit 11 times.
And that is correct. However, with the 24 times, a large portion of many numbers out of the 24 breaks your 8. So this is one thing that you have to sacrifice. And one more thing is that if there's an exchange of hit on the opponent side, you can gain more in the race. Where if you slot the 4 and get hit, then you lose a lot of pips in the race, and it is you don't want it as much. Another point that I see when I looked at the play is that why rejecting slotting the 4. The checkers that you have, the 5 checkers on the 6, those are the checkers that if you're going for a slot play, those are the checkers that I feel you want to use to slot. Sending another checker from the mid board there is not really stacking, but it's like stacking the checkers in very small area of the board, the 4 to the 6 point. You want to use the checkers on the 5 and 6 to slot the 4, not more checkers and to send into a very stacked area of the board.
Okay, well, I'm not going to let you make a statement like that without trying to test it. Let's test it. If you roll a 5-2, you're telling me that it's probably right to stack because you have an efficient use of one of these checkers. Let's see if you're right.
Right.
I think you are, and you are right. See, you would stack it with a 2 in these cases because it is an efficient use of the checker. Very, very good. Here's something else I did on my own, and I guess I say on my own. I learned this from my teachers, from Perry and Kit Woolsey and Knack Ballard and other great teachers that I've had. Don't just study a position and by itself. Start looking at variations of the position. That will help illustrate the point. I was really interested in what would happen if blue had another builder here. Would that change my play? Well, now you're going to get hit a lot more. And now it looks a lot better to make my play, but it isn't. David's play is still right by a lot, even with this extra builder, even though you're almost certain to get hit. It's a lot more than 24 times. In fact, I can hardly add up on the number of times you're going to get hit here, but it's still hugely right because your goals in this game are to get those back checkers moving and to have the exchange on that side of the board, just like David said. Anything else to add, David, about this variation, or any other thoughts?
Yeah, I can add a caveat to what we're saying, that once I see that my opponent is having 10 checkers in the zone, then I'm reluctant of going for the split. So if you add another checker, it may be the case that I'm not interested in splitting. I am not sure that this is the case here because my opponent has an advanced anchor, so on one hand I need an advanced anchor of my own, but on the other he has 10 in the zone, so it's a bit risky.
Well, let's test it. Let's test it. Let's find out. I bet you, well, it's close, 0.012. Let's plus it. Again, I don't trust plus. I believe in the God of plus, not plus. And let's see what's right after plus. But clearly it's going to be close either way. And
I guess
by the way,
yes.
Yeah, it's very, very close. So the more checkers in the zone, the more he's got. And by the zone, David's talking about blue's zone is all the checkers that are in his inner board, plus the checkers that are in the outer board that are within 6 of an open point. If this was not an open point that it was within 6 of, for example, this would have one less checker in the zone because this is not shooting at an open point. So technically this checker in this situation is not in the zone. So that's how you define the zone. I learned this from my blitzing exercises, and also I think Walter Trice wrote a very, very good chapter on blitzing and backgammon boot camp that'll help define the zone even better too. Okay, David, thank you very much for your help and your commentary. And here I am paying you and thanking you. So you get the double whammy here. And Happy New Year to everybody watching this tape. And we'll see you all in future tournaments. And keep supporting the USBGF so we can keep making these videos possible for everyone. Thank you, David.
Thank you for having me on the video, and happy holidays.
Okay.